Welcome to episode 243 of the Working Fans Podcast, where myself, the man called Dave, will talk WrestleMania 40, Night 1, Night 2, NXT Stand and Deliver, ROH Supercard of Honor. We'll start off with Dark Side of the Ring. But before we talk about any of that, we are going to be talking about our sponsor, Game Up. It is like a sports drink and a seltzer got together, made babies, but that baby had so much more flavor than either of the parents. 110 calories, 1 gram of carbs, 4 great flavors. Dave, what are those flavors that are unlike any other sports drink on the market?
See, there's lemon lime, there's grape. I don't have them in front of me. Orange and lemon lime, grape, orange. What's that last one?
Fruit punch, red,
Fruit
baby.
punch. Oh, man.
They're all great. Please pick them up at a liquor store near you. If you're in the Eastern Connecticut area, you can go to the Petromax in Griswold, where the man called Joe might be picking them up at about 6:30, 6:45 tonight. But before we get into the big WrestleMania weekend talk, we got to talk about Dark Side of the Ring. Another great episode. Dave, did you get to watch this week?
I did. Hold on a second here. I saw this thoughts on AEW. I was just gonna make a little joke. That might be a future Dark Side of the Ring episode, Randy. So hang tight. Yeah. So I'm trying Harley Race. Yeah, Harley Race. Interesting in the sense that I love Harley Race, but I think somebody else put it best. I saw on social media somewhere. I love Harley, but I'm missing like the controversies this year. I think that was some of the stuff that, made us really intrigued by Dark Side of the Ring, whereas a lot of these stories I've heard before.
I 100% feel that. I think the dark side of the Harley Race story is just really what it cost him in life to become a champion. The sacrifices, the death of the wife and the child, the going through the many surgeries. You heard from his ex-wife that wrestling was just more important. So it's more, I guess, the toll that wrestling takes on your life if you're going to try and go at it at such a big level. But I mean, the footage was great. Recreations were great. Getting to hear from his son was awesome. And I just liked Harley Race being profiled.
Yeah. It's always good to hear stuff about Harley because he's such a legend and one of those guys who's just respected by so many people in the business. Even my former guest of the show, Ace Steele, always has a lot of kind things to say about Harley and great impressions, and obviously CM Punk and many other people like that. And
another former guest of the show, Trevor Murdoch, was on the show talking about him, and it was great to have like a student talk about him as well as his son. Like, I don't think it broke any necessarily new ground on Harley's stories, but I mean, it was probably one of my more favorite episodes, I think, even though there wasn't like a big controversy behind it, or it's not like next week's wrestler who I'm not really familiar with, and it's going to be like truly learning about the wrestler.
There might be a Dark Side episode coming, Randy. We'll stay tuned. Thoughts for AJ. Actually, he'll be in Philadelphia this week.
Yeah, he'll be in Philly on night 1. He will be on the live watch along night 2 because AJ Strangebrew will now be popping up on live watch alongs. The live show will probably mainly be myself and the man called Dave.
Yeah, he redid his contract, Randy. He wanted more money, so we worked out a deal. Fewer dates.
He's still a part of the team, but he's finding a schedule that works better for him. It was something that he's been battling with for a while, just trying to find the right schedule. And we wanted to do something that works with him. But AJ is still a part of the team. And Adam Copeland's speech, we'll get into it before talking about this week's events because we got a lot. I felt like the Adam Copeland speech it felt like it was going a little far to maybe defend Tony against like the CM Punk stuff. But like I said, it's also what a top name in a company does. You stand up for the company you're in. Yeah. I don't think he necessarily put down the other company.
Put down
but he
anybody.
put over why he was behind AEW. So
Yeah.
I felt it felt a little forced, but it's what you do in that position.
Yeah, I thought he was super supportive of everybody, and he was just trying to get away from tribalism, but also, like you said, put over his company. The only thing I would say is maybe not needed. Like, I don't think there was that big a reaction to the Punk thing as people think. Like, I mean, it was interesting. We talked about it, but was that CM Punk interview going to necessarily affect your business in any way? Probably not. It's probably going to be, you're going to either do better or worse, depending on
I
what
think it really just hurt Tony's feelings because it put on display what a lot of people have thought before, that it's just not that Tony's not doing well with wrestling, but he's in a different business.
Sure.
And I think he got his feelings hurt about being called not a great boss, which a lot of people have had similar comments, have seen similar things. And I don't even think Punk put it in a bad way.
No.
He didn't even feel like he was necessarily comfortable saying what he had to say, but he was coming at it from an honest point of view.
Sure.
He wasn't holding anything back.
Right.
And I think certain people felt a certain way about that.
Yeah. But yeah, again, I think you said it best. Yeah, probably maybe hurt feelings. So to me, it's just, I just roll with it, but that's how I feel.
And Randy, I love that you're asking, or fuck, I almost skipped over Bloodsport. Bloodsport, I'm most of the way through it. I have just about started the Masha Slamovich Shayna Baszler match, but you had Nick Nemeth versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Great match.
I watched some of this too, by the way. I got up to Charles Dempsey, which I wasn't expecting to be on there, and you had texted me about. So that was
cool. You have the Charlie Dempsey match, which is great. There was a Japanese tag team. I believe they're from DDT. They faced off against each other, and that was a great match. So Bloodsport was awesome. And Randy asking if we are going to be watching SmackDown or Supercard of Honor tonight. Sorry, guys. I've been talking for 2 hours and my voice is going, but I'm glad you asked that, Randy, because we will be doing, or I will be doing, a live watch along of Supercard of Honor, the first of 4 watch alongs this weekend, maybe more if we decide to get nasty with it. But Supercard of Honor, I've got the full card in front of me now. It looks like a great card. Dave, do you want to go up the card and make some predictions?
Talk to me about this here. What do we got?
All right, so we're going to start from the bottom and go to the top, just like we did on TikTok. But Jay White and Gun Club will be in action for trios action. There is no set opponent. Tony Nese and Josh Woods are also going to be facing to be determined. You've got Angelico and Serpentico versus Griff Garrison and Cole Carter.
Okay. Don't know much. I mean, I haven't been watching a lot of Ring of Honor, but just on the surface, I would think Griffin and Carter would be the younger talent you might want to push in this situation.
I'll give you a little background to this. Maria Kanellis is getting behind the young tag team of Griff Garrison and Cole Carter. Yeah. And they have been mainly a Ring of Honor thing since they've gotten together. So I think those two are going over. On the flip side of it, if this were on an AEW pre-show, I would say it'd be Angelico and Serpentico. But I feel like they're there to put over the young talent. So I'm going to agree with you there. Let me circle our guests so we know who we picked.
Yeah.
You've got Johnny TV versus Dalton Castle in a fight without honor. I have not been keeping up with this, so I don't know what led to this. The boys were part of the recent AEW releases.
Right.
If you had to pick on this, a lot of these we're picking blindly because we don't keep up with Ring of Honor nearly as much as we should. It's almost like where NXT was with us for a while ago, where we'd catch up on the pay-per-views, but we'd miss the week to week.
I'll go with Johnny TV. But this is one since he's the champ, and I know a little bit. I know like Dalton's been like on hard times, and he's been getting the worst of this. So maybe Dalton's due for a win, but I just feel like Johnny TV is just higher profile, and I have a hard time seeing him losing. But Dalton has a lot of talent, so I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Dalton's good, but Johnny TV, bigger name. I feel like he's going to take this. And Dave, here is a match that I wish you had the lineup in front of you because I'd love to hear you pronounce this. And even I'm going to fuck it up now that I've chanced fate. But you've got Mina Shirakawa versus and Micah and May Sarah versus Saya Kamitani, Tom Nakano, and AZM. This is a Stardom Showcase match, and this is Jesse Chapman said this was a good Stardom Showcase. He's excited for this.
Interesting. I don't know nothing about these ladies. Who was the first name you mentioned?
Mina Shirakawa.
We'll take that team.
All right, so Dave's going team Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah.
And I don't know shit about this either, but I have heard of Tam Nakano before. So we are going to go for the other team.
Yeah.
So this is our first disagreement.
I saw Tony Storm was involved with
in the Stardom show. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And Dave, do you know who we called a match for that was in the main event of the Stardom show?
Ooh.
And it was not Lindsay Snow in Bloodsport, who we've also called a match for.
Yeah, I saw Lindsay.
We're not bragging. We're just telling you right now.
Yeah. Oh God. What's her name? Big Wonder Woman girl.
Yeah, I'd like to see her put that finisher on her.
Yeah. What?
Megan Bain.
Was it?
Megan Bain.
Oh, Megan Bain. Thank you. Yeah, she should.
And it's funny, actually. The other part of that match from the Grizzled Great Get Together, Nikki Duke.
Yeah.
ABJ knows her. Had a heart-to-heart with her backstage once.
Oh wow!
I found that out in a live watch along with ABJ. But ABJ down in Philly, another fellow content creator getting at it. So if you enjoy what we do, consider checking out the ABJ podcast on YouTube, Anthony Blackwell Jr. on TikTok, and Back to ROH, where Taven and Bennett are defending the ROH Tag Team Championships against the Infantry.
All right. First off, I really like the Infantry. They've been impressing me now that I got to see them come to AEW a little bit. But I feel like Taven and Bennett are part of that bigger storyline right now with, Roderick Strong holding the international title. So I don't think they're going to lose those championships yet. They will, but I just don't see it happening here yet. So Taven and Bennett.
I know, as much as I'm a fan of the Infantry, if you check it out, they have a Fuji's The Score like shirt with their three faces, those two and Trish Adora. I love their whole feeling coming out to the ring. They're a great team. But like you said, I don't think it's the time. I think when Taven and Bennett eventually lose the championships, it will be to the Infantry, but it's not going to be this weekend. Taven and Bennett got to walk away with it. Okay, we are talking ROH Television Championship, Kyle Fletcher versus Lee Johnson. This is, honestly, of all the matches on this card, this might be a little bit of a lull spot because everything else seems to have some kind of feel to it. Kyle Fletcher's been a good television champion. I don't know if he's necessarily stood out. I don't know if Lee Johnson's the one to take it off him, though.
I'm going to go with Kyle Fletcher. He's been profiled with the Don Callis family, and I just think there's bigger things for him right now.
I agree with you there. They are debuting the Ring of Honor Women's Television Championship. Billy Starks is going up against Queen Aminata. Dave, who do you like in this?
I'll go with Billy Starks.
Oh, wow. This is another one where we're going to disagree because they have been doing some features on Queen Aminata on Ring of Honor TV, and it looks like they're really trying to get behind, which I like. I like her in the ring, and I think this is going to be her first big chance, but I could be wrong because Billy Starks has that ongoing thing with Athena.
Right. That's kind of what I was thinking. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, Dave, did I mention Athena? Because Athena is defending that ROH Women's Championship against Hikaru Shida.
Okay. I will stick with Athena. She's had such a great run. I don't see it coming to an end yet.
I agree with that as well. I mean, Hikaru Shida, great wrestler to bring down from the AEW roster to give Athena that big time feel like she's going up against somebody. But just, like I said, haven't kept up with a lot of ROH. They might be building this up well, but I don't see taking it off Athena right now. I feel like there's got to be someone bigger that could possibly take it off her down the line.
Yeah.
And main event, Super Card of Honor, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, Ring of Honor Championship. I'm super stoked for this match.
I'm going to go with the shocker. I'm going to go with Mark Briscoe. I don't know if that'll happen, but I just feel like it's interesting. They got the Continental title off of Eddie. And Mark is such a, like, I don't know. I just feel like since the loss of his brother, I want to see Mark Briscoe with that Ring of Honor heavyweight championship. I feel like he deserves a run with that title if anybody does. So I guess that's why. But I don't know if they'll do it. I can see they didn't do it before, and they had opportunity with Mark to do it before. But I'm going to go with Mark Briscoe this time.
I mean, Eddie Kingston has had a great run with that title, but I don't know if there is a more perfect champion for ROH right now than Mark Briscoe, I would say. I agree with you. I feel like Mark's going to win it. And Dave, we are going to gas ourselves out today because we have only talked one of 4 watch-alongs this weekend. That's going to be tonight at 7, but then we got to get up tomorrow. I think it says 11. I checked the time. It's actually noon. We might come at you at like 11:50. We got to get some pizza in our bellies, but we will be watching. What's that?
I got bread in the morning. I planned on rolling in. I thought it was 1. All right. A little earlier.
Well, we will be watching NXT Stand and Deliver. I will be here alone for the first hour because Martin says Dave on the road, but that is fine because we are all business all the time. We are working fans for a reason.
Yeah.
But Dave, the NXT Stand and Deliver card, top to bottom, exciting. Starting off, Joe Gacy and Shawn Spears.
Interesting match. It's always interesting to me right now with Shawn Spears because he's a veteran talent who you just brought in and they've been putting him over. But, you got to think at some point he's there to put the baby face over and the gimmicks over and the younger people over. Gacy has a unique gimmick right now where he seems to be like enjoying pain and he does a lot of stuff to get noticed. So he doesn't really need to win either. So this one's kind of a toss up. I'm going to go with Gacy though. I'll go with the young guy.
I see it as well. Like Shawn Spears is coming back. He's had a great, run since he's been back, but he doesn't necessarily need the win. I think it's his time to make over newer guys. Right. And Gacy really seems to be emerging as a character on NXT, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm going to agree with you on Gacy. Now, guys, we have a lot of viewers right now. Please let us know in the comments where you are watching us. Are you catching us on Twitter? Are you catching us on Twitch, or are you on YouTube? Next match up on the card, Thea Hale, Kalani Jordan, and Fallon Henley versus JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dane. Have you been keeping up with much NXT lately?
Yeah, enough. I know that Thea Hale was being used by JC Jane and getting bad advice, and I know all about that. And I know Fallon Henley has been kind of like really the girl who's sticking up for all the troubled girls right now that have been bullied and everything. This is another one where it really just depends. Are we going to keep this rivalry going or are we coming to an end? So I'm not sure. I'm going to go with the baby faces still. I'll go with Thea Hale and Fallon Henley's team here.
I am right there with you as well. I feel like you gotta kind of bring this story to an end. And then where does Thea Hale grow from here?
Right.
The next matchup, I had this wrong. I thought it was Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus the Good Brothers. But when I checked it out, it says Axiom and Nathan Frazier. What happened? I missed NXT this week. I was under the weather.
They did a match and with Frazier and Axiom and to see if Axiom and Frazier would get in instead, and they won. Axiom and Frazier are in, and I think there's something to that. I'm convinced that Braun Breaker, he's already on the main roster. I think Axiom and Nathan Frazier are two beloved baby faces, got that great high flying style. I think they pull off the upset, and I think we're going to get new tag champs.
Yeah, I mean, since we saw them, they were facing each other on the pre-show at NXT Deadline that we went to in Bridgeport. That was a great match. I've loved them even more as a tag team. So I'm glad that they're going on and getting that chance. This next match might be the match I'm most excited for on the card. Obafemi versus Dijak versus Josh Briggs, NXT North American Championship. What do you make of this match? Who do you see winning this?
Should be a 3-way hoss fight. I like it. I like it a lot. I got to go with Femi. I just think because he's been put over so strong right now, and they're going to keep the momentum going. But Dijak is an unbelievable athlete for his size. Josh Woods, this guy.
Josh Briggs.
Josh Briggs?
Josh Briggs.
I said Woods. Okay, yeah, Briggs. Sorry. He's such a different complete person, complete wrestler since he's left Independency to go to NXT. Like, he doesn't even look the same anymore. Now, this guy looks like a big Terry Gordy, Steve Williams type guy. And yeah, I'm for one excited for this one. But I don't think you can go wrong with any of these guys taking it, including Josh Briggs, as Randy said. But I'm going to go with Femi.
Femi's a good choice. I would like Dijak to win it, but I feel like Josh Briggs is going to capitalize and take home that championship. And that's going to further kind of draw a line between him and his former partner there, Brooks Jensen.
Okay. I can see that.
Lyra Valkyra versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. They have done a heck of a job building this up on NXT. Yeah. I have loved Roxanne Perez's heel turn. And honestly, I think it's Roxanne's going to get that title.
It's funny. I heard, actually just saw a story online where there's rumors going on. They want Roxanne to go up to the main roster soon. She's impressing people, but people at NXT want to actually put the title on her. So I'm just going to go with this story and what it looks like. And to me, it looks like it's Roxanne's time to have a big turn at heel. We've seen her as the underdog babyface win this title, but this could be more with her as a heel now, which is something we saw with Braun Breaker. He came in as a strong babyface at first, and then he got to work heel, which I think is a lot of things we're seeing down at NXT now with these top talents. You're seeing him work babyface heel and really becoming more complete under Shawn Michaels and Regal and everybody there in that new system. So, yeah, I'm going to go with you. I'm going to agree Roxanne Perez, but neither one would surprise me because good chance you could see this girl on the main roster sooner than later.
100%. Now, from the way that I'm looking at these lineups, it looks surprising that it's going to be Ilya Dragunov versus Tony D'Angelo in the co-main event for the NXT Championship. This is going to be an interesting match.
Yeah, Tony D'Angelo is a guy that couldn't win this. He's got a big following down at NXT, and he seems like there's somebody they're really invested in because they're always doing these vignettes with him, and they're really behind him. It's not for me. I don't have anything against the guy, but this character just doesn't really do it for me. I feel like I'm going against the grain a lot when we talk about this, but I'm going to go Dragunov because I just don't want to see him drop this title yet. And I'm sure at some point he will, but I'm going to say not here. I'm going to go Ilya.
Yeah, Tony D'Angelo, very interesting character. They've gone a lot into the taped segments for him.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. I am not into the character necessarily, but I feel like he's going to get the win.
Yeah.
And Ilya is going to go up to the main roster because what more can Dragunov do in NXT? Like, what other hills can he climb?
That's a very good point. And actually, when you say that, especially we'll have to get into predictions later, but if Gunther keeps that title,
I was going to say he could be, even if Gunther loses that title, what if it's him and Dragunov are going to put awesome matches on the main roster? And could Dragunov be that guy standing between Gunther and the next level? Like, maybe he's trying to get to that world championship, but Dragunov is just this thorn in his side that I don't know how they do it, but keeps him. So I'm going to go D'Angelo.
Okay, you know what? Me too. You talked
All
me out
right.
of it.
I was just about to make
Yeah,
the thing,
no,
but
we're gonna agree on that one. We're gonna agree on that one.
and
Because you
in
know
the
what?
main event, what's up?
I was just gonna say, fans, thanks. Be happy you have a Triple H now, because if this was Vince still in charge, we probably wouldn't be excited about possible Dragon off Gunther matches coming to us soon, and we're gonna possibly get that. So that's pretty cool.
No, and what looks like it's going to be the main event of Stand and Deliver, Rick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. It's wild that this rivalry is getting the main event spot over the championship. I'm still not 100% sold that this is going to be in the main event, but this has been a great story for NXT.
If this is the main event, I'm going Trick Williams all day. This must be a feel good ending. You don't have Trick Williams in that main event spot, and for any other reason than that. So I think Trick wins it, and yeah, he's probably going to end up, no matter who it is, whether it's Tony D'Angelo or Ela, like he would probably challenge for the title next, and I bet we'll see Carmelo on that main roster soon.
100% now. Fans, we've been talking wrestling for a while, and I would like to drop in a quick commercial here just to break up the pace a little bit. And, what better place to go, because it's WrestleMania weekend. And where do you think WrestleMania weekend occurs? In Wrestleville, obviously.
Read about the Northern Wrestling Federation in the book presented by Wrestleville.com, The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 2. Hear the story of Roger Ruffin, the man who trained Carl Anderson, the Monster Abyss, Jordan Clearwater, Chris Harris, and Jillian Hall.
Plus 45 other short stories, including Jazz, Bobby Eaton, Kamala, Thunder Rosa, Mario Mancini, Scott Casey, PJ Black, Kerry Morton, Sal Renaro, Jeremiah Plunkett, Colby Carino, Bam Bam Malone, and many others.
Get your book today at Wrestleville.com. Wrestleville. It's where wrestling lives.
So we've talked Supercard of Honor. We have talked Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
We talked a little blood sport in there. We've gotten a lot of the other events around WrestleMania weekend, but the part that everybody came for, WrestleMania night one, Dave, I got to admit, I'm a little jealous of the lineup that AJ Strange Brew is going to be able to see live. And I mean, good for him. I mean, 2 nights of WrestleMania, when you buy the ticket, you don't necessarily know what the card is, but you have hope. And
you got the
card that AJ is going to see live is Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos, Escobar, and Dominik. It looks like to kick off the show.
Right. Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio as a tag team. Like, that's pretty sick right there. I would not be surprised if this is more to get Dominik over as a heel still, because Dominik's doing a lot of stuff. But I'm going to go with Dragon Lee and Mysterio just because I'm going to use this more as like a showcase for Dragon Lee, I think. So I'll go with the baby faces, but then again, this is another one that can go either way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Mysterio and Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee getting that WrestleMania spot. You're furthering the feud between Rey and Dominik. How does Dominik working with Escobar affect how he's in Judgment Day? That's why WWE is so hot right now, because every match has 3-4 questions coming out of it.
Sure. Andrade, though. Andrade's another one who's been kind of connected to Dom. So he could help cost, Rey here too. So there's another thought. I didn't think of that, but yeah.
Exactly. Next match on the card, Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi versus Damage Control.
Okay, this is one of the ones
match on the show.
Yeah,
and Jade is making her WrestleMania debut.
This is one where I feel a little more sure of the outcome, though. I will say Jade is not coming in here to lose her debut. Jade, in my opinion, would probably even get the pin here. Look for that. Could be on anybody, but yeah, I'd say Jade, Belair, and
Naomi.
What is she going by on TNA? Trinity. That's what I was getting.
Trinity, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard when they jump between companies and you have to remember the new name versus the old name.
Yeah, that was throwing me. Yeah, but yeah, I expect them to get the win.
And guys, I hope the excitement's coming through because the next match on this card, Judgment Day, DIY, New Day, New Catch Republic, A-Town Down, Tag Team Championships. There's a lot of talk on TikTok that they might be breaking up the Tag Team Championships. Either way, Tag Team Championship ladder match, 6-way, this is going to be a spectacle.
Yeah, this could otherwise be a match that maybe we weren't interested in, but now you've thrown a ladder in there. Now you threw multiple teams in there. I listened to Post talk about this, and they actually think the tag titles are getting
versus Awesome Truth. I don't know how I missed Awesome Truth in there.
I was just gonna say they were going Miz and Truth. They think Awesome Truth is the way to go. They've been the most established team, and they definitely think the tag titles are changing. I'm gonna just be a little different. I'm gonna say because it's in Philadelphia, this is gonna be kind of a thank you to Ciampa and Gargano and DIY actually take this.
Oh wow, yeah, I'm gonna take the safe guess and go Awesome Truth just because they've been featured so much.
Yeah,
could be DIY, but if they split the tag titles, do both parts of Regeneration X get those titles?
that would be pretty cool.
So either way, hopefully we're both right, but I know where we all win. And once again, another match. I can't believe AJ's getting Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. How wild is that entrance going to be live for Jey Uso?
I think that Jay's going to go over here. I think Jay's going to win. I think it says to put him over, but at the same time, I think there's going to be some shenanigans at the end of this, and he's going to get injured and possibly taken out so he can't get involved in night 2. And I think it's going to help stack the deck against Cody as we go out with this.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. I didn't think of that. I was thinking that Jay beats Jimmy and then they hug it out. But that is a good idea because you want to further stack the deck against Cody. So when he gets that win, spoiler alert for night 2, it makes it that much bigger. Now, talking about spoilers, will Chad Gable play spoiler when Gunther defends his Intercontinental Championship against Sami Zayn?
If you listen to this show at all, you know my opinion on this. Chad Gable is playing the role of spoiler here. He is going to take Sami Zayn's going to come with an eyelash of winning this. Chad will cost him. Gunther gets the win. And Chad's going to tell you afterwards that if anyone's going to pin Gunther, it's going to be him because it just means more. And I think we've already been set up for that.
I've been hearing Dave talk about it enough that I agree with that. I can't really see a different way for it to go unless Sami wins the title and then Chad somehow goes against it. Or there's so many different, I've been saying it on TikTok for a week. We go live daily and we could speculate what's going to happen at Mania because every story has so many different ways that it can go. I'm ready for Mania to just finally be here so we can see how the stories are going to play out. But I think Gunther's going to come out on top. And public opinion has been split on this next match. Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. A lot of people think Rhea's taking it home because she's been such a dominant champion. But then you look at Becky Lynch. They've been building up her story, making it look like she's fighting for her daughter here. A lot of people are Becky fans and don't want to see Becky lose. I personally think Ripley is retaining the title.
I agree. I think we're shining up Ripley even more. At some point, she may drop this, but it ain't yet.
No, and main event, night 1, very exciting main event. Rock and Roman Reigns tagging up against Cody and Seth. I mean, got to be the Rock and Roman winning, right? You got to stack that deck against Cody.
You stacked a deck against Cody. And, I'll say too, if Cody and Seth win, I'm a little more concerned about Cody winning on night 2. I have a feeling he might get screwed, but we'll see. But I'm going heels night 1.
Yeah, I feel like if Cody and Seth win, there's going to be an uncomfortable feeling for night 2. Oh, no, he might not finish his story.
Right.
It's interesting to see how it's going to play out. And Dave, I know you're a big music guy. Which night of WrestleMania is Lil Wayne going to debut that new single? Are we talking night 1? Are we talking night 2? And will it be the same night we see Meek Mill? These are questions you've been asking me all week. You've been sending them in messages.
Meek Mill, night 2, same night. Yeah. I got you.
For anybody that doesn't know, Dave is not as up on music as I am. He showed me the picture of Lil Wayne on Monday. Then I saw that Lil Wayne was debuting a new single. I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the Meek Mill appearance. But what I'm looking forward to the most is night 2 of Mania, because I am going to get to watch as a fan. I get to sit with my brother, finally enjoy the show. Dave will be working. He's going to be doing a live watch along with AJ Strange Brew. So if you want to find out what it was like to be at night 1 of WrestleMania, tune into the night 2 watch along. There's going to be plenty of time to ask questions. It's going to be a long show. Just like today. Maybe AJ won't be losing his voice.
I love that.
Night 2 of WrestleMania. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits up against Karrion Kross. Authors of Pain. Dave, it's kind of obvious, right? As much as we like Kross, as much as we like the Authors of Pain.
Is it obvious?
Really? You think it's going to be the Final Testament going over Lashley and the Street Profits?
I didn't, but I've had this suspicion that the Street Profits, namely Montez Ford, might be turning heel at some point. So I'm wondering if we'll see a breakup soon. So if that happens, I say the Final Testament pull off the upset.
So you're calling Final Testament?
Nah, I'll go with the Pride. But
it's going to be a great match. I want to get behind the Final Testament team. I feel like a win here would build them up, but Lashley and Profits need a win as well. So it's going to be a great hard-hitting match. I think it's going to be a great way to kick off the show if it does. But I mean, how does Lashley and the Profits not win?
I know.
Another match with great buildup, LA Knight versus AJ Styles. I haven't been watching a lot of SmackDown, but I've been catching the clips on social media. I feel like, I don't know, it's almost like you're building up AJ Styles as the sympathetic, victim of LA Knight. But is LA Knight becoming that new Stone Cold and overcoming being arrested, going after his opponent at all costs?
I think this is LA Knight right now because he's been the hotter character. And this is just a chance to put him in there with a guy like AJ Styles, who's going to get a great match out of him. And then you hope to keep the momentum going for LA Knight. That's what I think the plan is anyway.
Definitely seems like it. Now, the next match, the champion doesn't have to be pinned to lose the championship. Logan Paul defending the U.S. Championship against Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. A lot of people. It's been split on TikTok. We've had some people wanting KO, some people wanting Randy Orton. Logan Paul is a commodity. He is a name. He is an influencer, a celebrity wrestler. And I feel like he's given that U.S. Championship some exposure. So I feel like he's going to retain.
I agree. I think something will happen. There'll be a miscommunication between Orton and Owens. And we'll set up an Orton-Owens matchup. And we'll see where we go from there, if it's going to be Kevin or Randy turning heel down the road. They're both very popular at this point. But I think that, I think Logan Paul will be there. Now, I was going to say this, actually, LA Knight, AJ Styles had a brawl today at the WWE Media Day. So
it's cool that they're doing other things to build up Mania, especially through the Media Day. There was something about The Rock being late yesterday. It all makes news. It all gets more eyes on the product. And just like TikTok has been doing for us. And I just want to mention it here before we get into the last two matches. But our YouTube channel is not monetized. But if you want to support a podcast, go over to our TikTok. If you click on the main profile, we got a little subscription button. $2.99 a month, less than a day's cup of coffee. But it's a chance for you to contribute to an independent podcast. And we are working on a Patreon soon.
Yeah, and we're almost live daily too. So
Yeah, we get a lot of new people. We also have a Discord as well. We're building a great community over there, and we wanted to reference TikTok. And what I especially want to reference, co-main event, night 2, Io Sky versus Bayley, WWE Women's Championship. Dave, how do you see this playing out?
Could go a number of ways. I was leaning towards this would be Bayley's big moment, but I keep thinking if Jade is going to win and be a threat for the championship, Io's the heel right now. Very interesting, though, we would have a big, larger-than-life babyface against a tiny, smaller heel. But knowing that, I'm going to lean towards Io. I'm going to think Io finds a way to win, and we're setting up Io versus Jade down the road.
Wow. See, I've got Bayley winning it and finally pushing herself away from damage control and being able to strike out more on her own. But I mean, I like what you're saying, Io versus Jade.
Yeah.
Jade needs that championship matchup. And I don't like comparing WWE and AEW often, but coming off of Dynamite this Wednesday, they are setting up Mercedes Moné to go against the winner of the TBS championship after Dynasty. So I feel like you're almost telegraphing the Willow win. But what's weird for me is to bring in this big name, huge signing, and then have them go for a mid-card women's title. That's why I like you suggesting bringing in Jade and her instantly aiming for the top.
Right. Yeah, no. I mean, what else would you do? Friday Night SmackDown. I mean, I know eventually, SmackDown's going to, and Raw will be on Netflix, and that might be the biggest show. But right now, SmackDown's the A show. So, yeah, why not? That's what you would want to do with Jade.
Definitely. So, WrestleMania Night 2. Given what we said night 1, it's going to be bloodline rules. Cody is going to have the world against him. Quick question before we get into the match. Do they introduce a new member of the bloodline family to be like that extra step above what they already have to stop Cody?
If Cody's going to lose, I'd say that's a possibility. I say we get it after. I say we get the following Monday night, we'll get a new bloodline member.
All right. And I mean, we already know what we think is going to happen. Cody's got to finish that story. How do you not do it? If Cody, now let's say we live in a world where Cody doesn't finish the story.
Yeah.
How does he progress forward and not disappoint the people?
He goes
obviously
after,
still going for that title, right?
Yeah, no doubt. He's going to go after these bloodline members, and the feud's going to continue. Whereas last year, we kind of had that distraction with Brock. I'd say there won't be as much distraction. I'd say that you may lead to a Cody Rock, which this is what I think is going to happen anyway, even if Cody wins or loses. Like, I think Cody's wrestling the Rock at SummerSlam, and Cody will beat Rock at SummerSlam. And then after that, I look for Cody to catch Roman in the next couple months after that. Maybe Survivor Series, but there'll be a show at Madison Square Garden, and Cody would win the world championship there. That'd be my guess.
Ooh, wow, you are almost talking me out of picking Cody at Mania, but for me, I still don't see how you stretch the story out another year. Let him finish the story this year and then evolve to whatever's next. But we will have to see. What's that?
I'm picking Cody. I want Cody, but I have thought of scenarios. That's what makes this intriguing, because there are ways they can do this, but it's really going to piss off a lot of people. And do they want to do that? Don't discount they will. See, here's the difference now. Back in the day, you used to just piss people off for Vince's ego. And there's some people who still have, PTSD about that, and they remember that. But this new regime, they're very into long-term storytelling. And can you frustrate these people, especially no disrespect, but like a TikTok audience? We like the quick, short things, right? Do they have the patience to wait as much as they used to? Some would say so. If you do it good enough, you tell the story well enough, and everything's on point, you can get them there. So there could be a couple ways. It's just what do they want to do and what's in the plan. Personally, I've waited. I won't wait no more. I want Cody to win it. Give me what I want.
I'm right there with you. And thank you to everybody that's joined us today. We mentioned the TikTok subscriptions earlier. Please, even if you don't subscribe, check us out on TikTok. And most people watching on YouTube aren't subscribed, so feel free to subscribe here. Most importantly, thank you everybody for joining us today, and we hope you join us for a watch-alongs. And now we got a couple commercials from the paid sponsors. If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store. And speaking of finishing the story, I hope you guys finish this story from author Vinnie Berry and Black Bart.
Hey, all you goddamn wrestling fans out there, listen, old Black Bart has got a book. It's called Wrestle. Black Bart. It's got some damn good stories in there about some damn good wrestlers.
Read stories of Dusty Rhodes, the Von Erich, Scott Casey, Sergeant Slaughter, Roddy Piper, Mr. Fuji, Ron Bass, Bruiser Brody, Mike Davis, the Grappler, and many others.
And I guarantee you one thing, that it'll be the best dadgum read you've had in a long time.
Get your book today at Russellville.com or on Amazon. Russellville, it's where wrestling lives.